So what I seen so far to start off the morning for today, right? I seen this 30-minute bullish CRT candle form here, right? And so this candle formed at 8. It swept the high. Let me zoom in a little bit, right? The high was swept here, and then price started to continue lower from this point. So now, just as a reminder, I do when I enter trades, I enter from a fractal market sequence. And so just very simply, soon as price began to shoot off here and we started to get a little bit of a retrace, I entered back in off of this bearish engulfing candle on the 3-minute time frame. As soon as we got that closed back underneath, that's pretty much like the point where I was pretty much more confirmed with the entry so far. Now this was slightly different of a style of an entry, because normally if I was entering something like this to catch the highest point, it probably would have been something here. But even though I caught it here, I mean it's not too bad, but I can make it work. So far I believe that we are in a bearish directional fulfillment. So I believe that price will begin to fulfill the liquidity collection of these lows here. So I believe price will continue into this low and then continue into this one, because I believe that these are minor points of liquidity, right? So the thing about this here, right, is this low is actually our 30-minute CRT low. So I'm pretty sure it goes across from here. So that's our high. So that's where it was swept. So the best entry would have been here, but I was slightly late on the entry, so I caught the retest of here. And as you can see, price did just directly target and fulfill this low. So now we should be targeting our 30-minute CRT low here. And overall, what I'm trying to look for this day overall is for price to sweep into this low as the maximum area of liquidity to be fulfilled within this range. But I don't know, it's kind of, I feel like depending on the volume from this point, it could be pretty tricky. But so far so good. I mean, let me draw out my arrows just because I just like to have them, man. This is just pretty much confirms my directional fulfillment, right? So with CRT, once you see certain things happening in price, right, it's almost inevitable that now the market will then switch over to target certain lows. In this case, because I'm trying to look for sales, so price will switch over and target our lows, because that's where the overall order flow is beginning to head now. And so I don't need special indicators to read the order flow. I just understand CRT very well, and I understand the psychological factors behind the market and things like that. And so once I put it together, I can pretty much have a very comprehensive framework that allows me to pretty much have a good understanding where the market is truly headed at all times, or not, at least if not at all times, then at least, majority of the time very accurately, excuse me. But so far I want to see us tap into these lows here now. Let's see. I didn't actually draw up the 50% of this range. If I did, it would have been here. So price been tapped into the 50% actually. Tapped into the 30%, the 50%. And also, so our maximum area also do line up with the negative 27% on the fib. So that's actually a pretty good confirmation that price could very well continue lower, and we could target this low here, our maximum sell side liquidity, so to speak. I'm gonna take this off now. So now we just wait and we watch price. We watch how price forms, watch how it flows, and just see that if it stays in alignment to what I'm trying to target, man. It's always pretty iffy, so to say, on Mondays, because on Mondays the market tends to target both sides of liquidity sometimes. So it just depends on your timing window of your trade that you're taking. So far so good though on this Monday, I'll say. Having good profits. And so this is just from understanding CRT. I'm gonna just watch the price action for now, just see how we're flowing. See if I can find a pretty good angle to watch from, and we'll go from here. So very quick, once again, for now, I'm trying to look for this low to be tapped into by price. So what I'm actually capturing right now, right, is I'm capturing a potential higher time frame CRT sequence. Let me see here. Yeah, you guys can see it too if you're familiar with the way that I trade. You will have, so it's pretty early to call this out because our distribution candle in this sense did not close, but it would be something like this. We'll have our 1 here, we'll have our 2, and then from this point and beyond we'll have our phase 3, which is the beginning of distribution. So, and this starts from a 15-minute time frame, so our directional momentum could actually potentially target lower lows. Like we can potentially max out here, or not max out, but we can tap into here today. We can tap into here, 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 here. The overall thing that you should be trying to get from this is that price is beginning to target lows within the market, right? That's pretty much the overall thing. So these are just drawn up for now. I wouldn't actually look to hold my trade like this. I mean, possibly. I mean, depending on how the price action is for the rest of the day, the rest of the morning, you know, there could be possible opportunities to just scale your trade. So we did tap into this low at a 1 and 3. So the reason that I didn't really, this is not really a type of trade that I would take on a regular, but once again, it's a Monday and it did still go along with the CRT. So it was just something that I figured, why not just take? And that's why I'm trying to overall see if price can target this low so that I can max out at a 1 and 2, and it'll just make more sense for the trade for me. But once again, a win is a win. Actually, since I am in profit right now, I'm going to just go break even, since I didn't even go break even yet. So let me go ahead and go break even right now. 0.79791. All right, so I just went break even. So far so good. Actually, this trade has went pretty smooth. We are approaching our maximum target. I didn't actually expect we'll get here this quick, but this is actually very good. So this shows very good strength. And so you actually had multiple areas of accumulation, manipulation, and distribution here, but it just starts to become clearer on a higher time frame. So you can potentially mark your range something like this. Then you see that now price is underneath this area, so we're now starting to target lower prices. So, but I really want to see us target this low without a lot of, you know, retracements in the market, and I just want to see us just reach it, and I'll be happy. I could be happy. That's just what I'm trying to look for. Don't want to force it. I just got to flow with the market and see what happens. I just want to see price continue to target this final low. And the primary reason that this low is significant within this range overall is that it's the beginning of the impulsive high, the impulsive momentum that broke these highs. So if once price continues down and collects these lows, then it pretty much collected and fulfilled the momentum that was captured within this. And so now you pretty much have a fulfillment in directional liquidity. So once this area is completed, this liquidity is grabbed here at this low, you will have a full completion of directional liquidity within the market, at least from this perspective, because the price could very well continue targeting these lows and these lows. So it just at this point depends on the trader, and depends on how you want to go about holding this and attacking this trade potentially overall, right? So let's just see what happens for now. Actually, overall, I would say it was pretty smooth. We just got to make sure to keep an extra eye out now, because since our candle range ultimately was already fulfilled, it's just less room of certainty within the trade itself. But you still understand the direction, and you understand that with CRT, there's still certain things that are set in place, because like I said, from a higher time frame, right, you can see the beginning of a brand new phase of distribution, right? You have our accumulation here, all of this, right? Price swept that, boom. And so since it swept the high, price is now most likely going to target lows. And because from this area we also have a 30-minute candle, so all of this was a part of a 30-minute candle. We had that high swept, price continued lower, right? It continued lower. This is where I got in, and once it closed back underneath this area, this pretty much confirmed the directional volume. So in other words, this confirmed that from now the market is actually distributing right now, right? The market is actually distributing right now. We're getting ready to target this low. Right, I want to see price tap into this low, and I just want to keep a very close eye on the volume afterwards, because if we tap into this low with volume, right, I might potentially want to see if I can potentially scale it here, and then just see how price action unfolds from that point. But I know I said I wanted to see this, but even though I do, what I really want to see is this. But once again, just for now, I'm just going to leave it here and just watch price action, because this could be a potential exit area here, honestly. Potentially, because like I said on Mondays, price likes to target both areas, so I don't want to try to stretch this out. It's like, even like you see here on the 30-minute time frame, we did actually sweep these lows from our 30-minute candle. So let me make this skinnier really quickly. So as you can see, right, we could be potentially entering another 30-minute CRT now, and we might potentially be targeting the highs. So in my opinion, what will determine this is whether or not price comes back above our CRT low or not, right? If it doesn't, if price does not close back above here, then the volume, then that's not a confirmed CRT. If it does, then that's a confirmed CRT, and then I should probably exit my trade. If it does not, I will stay in, and then just because this candle swept the low, it does not mean it's not a bearish candle, right? It does not mean it has to flip over, because our overall direction has already started of distribution. So there's like certain ways that you got to approach every single candle, and you just got to be mindful of the direction and where it's actually headed. So this is still something to monitor. It would probably be best to watch this from a slightly higher time frame. Let me see, maybe something like the 5-minute. The 15-minute closes soon. I mean, the 10-minute closes soon. Minute, it closed around the same time actually. So yeah, you just gotta. I'll probably just stay here. You just gotta watch these candles, watch how the market plays from here, and be able to react accordingly. So let's see. I want to see this area tapped into. I feel like this trade would have probably been a lot sweeter if I did actually capitalize and enter slightly earlier. Cause let me just see. If I was able to catch something like this, it probably would have been like this. To be honest, probably like a 4.5 or a 5. Then I would already be up a 1 to 2. And that might actually been it for the day. So this is pretty much one of the things that you got to pay attention to when it comes to accuracy and timing, because now I'm not at a 1 to 2 yet. I want to be able to fully tap into that 1 to 2 for the day, and in order to do that, we got to pretty much tap into this low here. So let's just keep watching for a quick minute. Although I will say I can't really complain about the price action, because as you can see, I pretty much had very little drawdown. So just to see this so far, I mean, I'm actually pretty happy that the market has been this smooth so far. We're almost there. I want to see us tap into it. Let's go. Let's continue this distribution that we already started, right? Isn't that the plan? I'm just a very well-written reader of the market. We can tap into this, and if we tap into that, I will probably just be done for today and just call it. Even though I see the potential for price to continue lower, because we already swept this high on this 3-hour candle. Then we could potentially be entering actually a 3-hour CRT. But I don't know if I really want to hold a trade that long. That's just me. Just on a Monday. So price is kind of showing both sides here. It's not really confirming a direction or anything as of late. Let's just keep watching. Let's see how it actually unfolds and plays out on its own, right? Because the thing about it is, it could be targeting this low, but it's going to get there and target it on its own time, right? We can't dictate and say the time that's going to happen. This low is already collected, so I feel like it's just noise. Pretty much just want to keep what's valuable. I'm gonna keep this 50% just because it's part of the CRT, so it just shows you the full picture. Make sure this lines up as well. So we had our direction. We could be still potentially in this 1, 2, 3, but this was from a larger time frame. The candle did close bearish, so that's what we actually want to see to actually confirm the momentum. So it might be actually in my best interest to probably stay on this time frame, because this time frame probably will continue the overall bearish pressure that can unfold for the day, as we are within a higher time frame. I think it was the 2-hour or 3-hour, the 3-hour time frame high. Right, and then you have, I'm not gonna remove my area, I'm gonna just draw out this low. You have this CRT candle low here. This will be in pertainment to the 3-hour, and so you got the 3-hour high. That's also this deep candle that I already drawn out. So because it is the candle that I already drawn out, I'm not gonna actually make any changes to it. 1 second, my iPad froze up here. There we go. I wanted to see that increased profit. We can see prices starting to go down a little bit lower, but like I was saying, We are within this area. Let me see. I could potentially mark the 50% just so it's something we could keep an eye on, because I could try to push it slightly more and target this 50%. I'm gonna let this be known that this is from the 3 hour. So I see that this was from the 3 hour. So that could potentially be another exit area that might allow me to get a little bit more out of the market. But let's just continue watching closer. So we did just have a good close. The market has been trying to tap into our TP1, which is pretty much the primary exit area, but it's been showing some rejection. And so you really just want to watch and see how the market is rejecting from this point. And also you don't want to react too soon. So let's just keep watching here. I also find this interesting how this candle, like, we're on the 3-minute time frame, but on the 3 hour time frame, this line was the beginning of a 3 hour CRT high. And so this is actually a perfect level of accumulation, a perfect show of manipulation, and then a perfect confirmation of us entering the distribution from a higher time frame perspective. So it might be actually even in my best interest to watch this from a higher time frame, because the move is happening on a higher time frame. Just keep watching and monitoring for now. I just want to still keep in mind that this was a sweep of this low, so that's what makes this area very interesting. You got to see if this is going to hold and prices are going to start targeting this high. Because if it is, then I might as well exit now. But we got to see how it actually unfolds itself instead of jumping the gun too early, because price could still reject from this point and continue lower before confirming anything. So I want to aim to see this area. I want to aim to see price stay underneath this low. I want to see price stay underneath it. Best case scenario. Mondays are just always those interesting days. But I mean, so far we do see price rejecting from our from this area. So it's showing me what I want to see actually. So as long as it continues doing this, then I'm good. It looks like it so far. This candle still got 1 minute and 30 seconds in it. So you don't want to get too happy in what you see so far, but at some point it's confirmed, right? And like I say, like right now it's confirmed at this point. At this point, it has to just tap into this low, because I feel like the market wouldn't drive it this low just to not target this overall low of liquidity here, right? So I feel like it just has to. It just has to. There's just no way. And if it doesn't, that's insane activity. But let's see what we're looking like on a little lower time frame. Okay, yeah, we still got potential. This candle just closed. Our next candle could still be the candle that taps into it from a 1 minute perspective. I could look at it from a 1 minute perspective for a bit. But see, so far, if price stays underneath this low now, this will confirm that the 30-minute sweep that we've seen on a higher time frame was actually a false sweep. Like this could actually be indicative of a false sweep, and price was actually still bearish overall, which is normally how I approach the market as well. It's just the fact that it's a Monday. If it wasn't a Monday, I'll be more confident in knowing that everything would become one smooth direction. But since it is a Monday, it could kind of play both sides a bit and sort of weave out the impulsive people that's in the market, But so far, that's good. Let's look. We're almost there. We're almost there. Price just likes to play around right now. Like, it's not a straight shot. That's what's aggravating. Let me see what we're looking like from an upper, higher perspective. 30-minute, 15-minute. So we still got potential to target this low, because this candle didn't even close yet, right? So it could still, within the next 9 minutes or so, it can still close into this. But that's also an important time window. So what the market does right now is actually pretty important because it's getting ready to enter a new hour once 10 a.m. starts. So that's where price could potentially be showing signs of turning around and reversing, just because it's a Monday, right? That's just the way of understanding. Like, you sort of, once you trade enough, you start to understand the certain behavior patterns that the market tend to have on certain days, because every day the market does not behave the same. But I mean, so far we're still valid to look for lower prices. So let's just continue to see. If the candle closes the way that it does like this, if it closes in any way bearish, then that's a sign that this sweep is pretty much false. But if it doesn't, then it might just be time to exit. This is not exactly what you want to see. But so that's also how I feel like it could play out. It could come up here and then continue back down. Like, it could just do something that's just make you question how to actually approach what's going on. But we still do have, from a liquidity standpoint, this area. Let me sort of make it a bit more understandable. So all of this within this here, so this high, all of this is a lower time frame liquidity pool within the market. So this could be where we see potential rejection from. We could actually potentially see rejection because price came into this pool once it collected this high. And we're going to sort of just make it green. I'm going to remove this just so it's not a bar. Let me try to make it darker. Here, you can say here as maximum. But if you want to go to what's most tight within the tightest window, you got this area, and so price could continue making lower prices from this point because it tapped into this liquidity pool. It gathered some fuel to continue back lower within this range. And now from that point, you just keep watching how price unfolds from here. On the 1 minute time frame, if we get a bearish candle closure, that will show strong momentum, but it got to be underneath this candlestick. All right, it got to be underneath the low of this candlestick. And so far it's starting to reject still. You got to let the market do its thing for a while. I feel like it's doing this until until 10 a.m. But it's something I also don't want to actually overcommit to. So we just got to see how price is ultimately reacting. So if we continue having this level of rejection, then that's a good sign. Or if we don't, then we got to understand what is happening and respond accordingly. So far the thing is, this could just be a manipulation spike. So it's like things that you just got to be aware of, man. I did come very close to TP, so this could have been a good sign to just go ahead and exit for the day, honestly. But to still come within this area, wonder why things are shifting so much. Let me do a quick check. CHF here. This is one of those moments. You gotta just watch it, because it didn't close yet, so it could very well just close and continue back lower. It's still very much a possibility. So you just watch them flow. I mean, so far, we are starting to get good rejection back into the market. So that's why it was a good thing to pretty much stay in so far. Because I had a thought to myself that impulsive move was just a manipulation spike into the market to pretty much fake people out and continue back down lower. Because like this was still a liquidity pool collection, but the maximum liquidity within this area was here. So you pretty much had the beginning, then you got the maximum. So it price taps into this maximum area of liquidity, and now it could be potentially, if we can get a close up back underneath this area, if we can get a close underneath this, like if price continues and it closes, we can be very well in a good state to actually target and fulfill this candle low here. Once this candle closes, we'll actually have a 10 a.m. candle open, so there can also be an increase in potential volume within the market from that point also. Let's see. This Monday could actually just be a very smooth Monday, because I believe on Forex Factory there was no large impact news. Everything was pretty much smooth. There's not any more news in the day until about 9 p.m. I think, something like that. So it's a pretty smooth day. No news events that really drastically impact the market or brings uncertainty into the market. So that's probably a good thing. So that's probably why the market is actually so smooth, right? There's not really a lot of things there's not a lot of events that people actually care about within the market going on today. So it could lead to smoother price action, but I just want to see this low tapped into. And then once this low gets tapped into, I'm gonna actually scale, and I'm gonna probably put my stop somewhere within where price is at now. If price continues, though, we gotta see price continue first and foremost. See what the 5 minute looks like. See, the 5 minute looks interesting. Like this wick area is not showing strong rejection or strong. So we just gotta see. This 30 minute could have been a fake. We gotta see how price reacts within this area. I really want to see price comes underneath this, because that really confirms that this potential CRT sequence is not real. So that's why I actually don't want to label this one, because we already just completed one, and I feel like that one is the one that our overall direction is inside of. So if I jump the gun and think that we're going to go from this low sweep and start targeting this high, it'd be pretty much interesting. I just got to say it's interesting, because once again, it is a Monday. So, but let's see. So far, so good. I mean, I can't complain about how it's actually been reacting, especially for price to come back down. Also, if we do have a closure here, we will have a 3 minute candle closure underneath this area. So that could be what potentially confirms the bearish momentum. But I feel like you really want to see two, because it's just, by the way that it looks, it could potentially form a lower high here still, right? It can still form a lower high. So that's why you just want to see how this candle closes, and you want to wait until the next one as well to see if that volume continues. And then you also on the 5-minute time frame, this is just how my eyes are seeing it, right? You can have a potential mini CRT playing out from the 5-minute perspective, right? You got this 5-minute green candle here. You got this 5-minute green candle here. And then you got the low, price swept the high, tapped into a lower time frame liquidity pool, and now it's targeting this low. So, and this is what live is doing. I mean, this is what price is doing actively right now. So we just have to pretty much see. Like I said, it could still form that higher low. So we gotta pretty much just see, because we don't want to see it. To be honest, that's not what we want to see. So I think it's best if I stay from the 5-minute time frame or the 4-minute. The 4-minute doesn't look bad, so I'm going to stay on the 4-minute time frame for now, and then we just see how price plays out. It's getting interesting. I feel like since it's the beginning of 10 a.m., I feel like price is now starting to confirm starting to confirm its direction for the next hour. So this is pretty much, I believe, a pivotal time frame within the market, because this is where it will confirm where it will go within the next hour, at least until about 11 or 12, because then from that point it could begin targeting the opposing direction, because like I've been saying so many times already today, it is a Monday. So it looks like we're going to have the tap. Let me go back to the 5-minute now. Our 5-minute small CRT was just fulfilled. You can pretty much classify this as a tap, to be honest. So right now we still have high potential. That's the thing. But we gotta see. Man. You never want to let price get to a point where it's going to reverse on you, or it begins to reverse too soon. But to even if I exit this trade now at a 1.7, that's pretty much, I mean, I'll still be fine with that, because it came to a 1 or 2, I think. Let me see. It literally just tapped a 1 to 2 trade, or a 2 risk reward trade. So when you're in these type of situations, you obviously don't want to give too much back into the market. But our low still wasn't tapped into. Let's just see. Let me see. Is it better to watch it from? See what the 3 looks like. 3-minute might be one of the best perspectives, or possibly the 2 or the 4. So when you're trying to actually pay attention to the time frames, right, you want to go to the time frame that is least likely to make you act emotionally. That's pretty much should be the goal. It's not the easiest thing to do, so I'm not going to act like it is. But so far, it looks like the 10-minute, because I feel like the 10-minute time frame will keep me the calmest for the next 3 minutes, because it has bearish momentum within it, so it stops me from trying to look to exit the trade or something if price is just slightly retracing, you know what I mean? So if we get too much rejection, then that is pretty much a sign of, I don't know, possibly a sign we should exit, because this low was swept as well. Then all this does is confirm that price could be potentially getting ready to reverse and start targeting our highs. But it still depends, because we are still in a distribution right now. All right. So the amount of context that I put together will pretty much determine. So far, I feel like I should stay into this trade. We still got potential, right? And we can think of this zone here, because all this was a liquidity pool, right? So what this means is, from this point, I understand that this is the range that I'm trying to work with from here to here. And so when price comes within this area, I'm understanding pretty much another continuation, right? Because what I'm trying to explain is you will have your distribution, you'll have your manipulation. It can happen on any time frame, any scale, right? And then we could have another decline, or you can call it a distribution as well. But for this specific way, since this is actually a continuation, I will consider it a decline. So we could be within this decline, price could be potentially targeting this here, and then it's full directional low that I'm trying to look for within this range would be here. But I would still want to see potentially if price can smoothly target more. And that's the thing, right? It has to target it smoothly. It can't be targeting doing all of this and all of that. I don't want to see all of that, right? So, but so far so good. So far so good. So, just to make this even more clear, right? Here, you're just expecting another shift of bearish momentum within this area. So, just like you got the first wave here, you're pretty much expecting another version here, right? It doesn't have to be a larger version because this is a small pool of liquidity, right? It wasn't on a higher time frame. So that's just pretty much how I'm looking at the market. I pretty much look at it by its momentum and volume through a candlestick perspective. That's pretty much what candle range theory is. And if you can understand that, you can understand the market. Look, that's TP right there. That's TP. I don't have to do anything, but I do have to make up my mind. I don't know. I'm gonna give this a few minutes just to see if it wants to, begin to continue bearish with volume. Let me see if it's probably best to look at it from the 3 minute doesn't look bad, right? If this candle closes bearish, then we got good potential to continue. But see, now it's starting to play around. So once again, I could have just exited at a 2 risk to reward, but it still has potential. And so if it still has potential, then you can still see what's possible. I feel like this 15 minute could still close a bit more bearish. Obviously, that's just speaking in terms of possibilities, but based on how it's forming, it still is very much possible. And just like I was saying, let me just see, right? Because our first direction stems from this movement, right? Which means this was our 50%, this was our full TP1. So ultimately, when it ultimately comes down to our maximum volume, our 61% is what could hold weight. Okay. And this is just going by volume, going by Fibonacci, and pairing that up with our first CRT candle, right? So now we pretty much confirmed that our first bearish momentum was actually fake. It was actually false momentum into the market. So now we could potentially be actually coming down here and targeting this low, potentially. But to be honest, I'm going to just be happy if price does continue lower. That's just something that I got to watch and keep an eye on. Because if price continues lower, then that's great. But also, it's a Monday. So that's just in my head a lot right now, because I didn't learn my lesson when it comes to trying to overhold trades on Mondays. But it always comes down to the context that you're in at any given time. But it's just still Mondays just can't be trusted, man. See, you know what? I'm not liking that. Not liking it at all. I want to see. I'm gonna wait until this candle closes, but depending on how it rejects after that, I'm probably gonna exit if it continues to go bullish. Because I really just don't trust Mondays. I don't want it to allow me to lose out on too much profits here. I'm gonna see what happens though. We still got 20 seconds, so you don't want to make a decision 20 seconds early than knowing that you could have potentially stayed in, because I have that happen so many times as well. So I would love to see price come into this area, but I don't want to force it. So let's just see what price does, because the next true area of liquidity is actually here. So before price taps into any more potential fuel, it has to come at least here, and that lines up with our 61.8%. So if I'm being honest, this is pretty much what I'm expecting from the market. This is my CRT perspective, and this is how I view things. So I'm going to trust my perspective, because my perspective is what got me this far, man. So far, I do see further potential to continue lower, though. Very quickly, I do want to check a divergence. Where is it? I gotta tighten that up. Okay, it's getting stronger. The divergences is not actually in our favor right now, because the only one that is CHF JPY. It's the only one where actually no. Probably not even here as well either. So let's see, because what we would want to see is CHF actually gaining strength, and so it has been overall, which is why the trade has been successful. But in its current state, it's not yet ready. Yeah, okay, so we had a 1 hour sweep. I'm seeing that here. Once price actually came into that area, it was a 1 hour sweep. So we can actually be likely targeting the other side. So what I want to see here is, this is where I'm going to get ready to prepare my decision. I'm going to probably get ready to exit here, because from this point, if that candle closes with this much volume, then it can be a confirmation point that price is going to continue up from this point. So I should just take what I have. So let's just see. But once again, it could just be another wave of manipulation entering the market. From the 1 minute, it looks pretty smooth this way. But you still just never know. So let's keep watching. I feel like it's okay to watch from the 1 minute perspective now, because we did come into some liquidity, and our volume could continue bearish. All right. Not saying it will, not saying it has to, but it could. Because like I was saying, if this was like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, maybe less of a Friday, but if it was any of those days, I would be more confident that price will stay in one direction. But Mondays like to target both, so I don't want to stay in too long and become the target on both sides, when price technically already hit my TP. So I'm just holding for this. But I feel like, once again, I wouldn't even be doing this if I caught the highest one here. I would have just exited. Plus, it's just a Monday. I feel like Mondays are always a warm up for me, just to get things going, get things in rhythm. But if price looking like it want to continue and going higher, let me see. The highest time frame that closes is the 10-minute. So what I want to see is I want to see this time frame close, and I want to see it start to be bearish. But it has to be from this candle, because the 15-minute got 10 minutes left. So this has potential to wick out, but from the 10-minute, you want to see this become bearish. So let's just see. Even when I go lower, I understand that it's from a bearish perspective. This looks like that's going to potentially be me getting stopped in profit here, because I got to also keep in mind that the divergences also were not in my favor for today. CHF is starting to get weaker here. It's getting weaker here. It's getting weaker here. And it's weaker here. It's weaker all across the board. So let's see. It's looking like it's not want to go back down. Like that's going to be it. So it could potentially continue lower. I just don't want to stay in this trade anymore. Well, let me just see. I'm going to give it this area here. I want to give it this area. Let me take this off, clear the price action up. We got 10 seconds until this candle closes, which would be, in my opinion, an important candle close, so to say. This is where you want to see the volume continue, but you can't force it, right? If we have a higher time frame bearish candle, that's obviously better. So it actually does look pretty clean on a 3-minute perspective with how things are forming right now at this giving second. We're going to have a 1-minute candle closure, I'm pretty sure. That's how that 1-minute candle closed. Not anything significant. But this 3-minute candle, we got to just stay here and see how price does for a minute. So we're going to have a 5-minute candle closure here. That will actually be pretty important. And the 5-minute candle closure will also contain the next 30-minute candle closure. So what this means that this candle could continue bearish. Like we still got potential, man. So 10:25, 5-minute candle started to open and have volume. I feel like we are at a pivotal point. So it's like, I don't want to react too soon. But that's how the market gets you, you know. It gets to those pivotal areas where it makes you want to react and take away logic, and you start to think emotionally. And then that's when you make a premeditated or a early decision that you might regret or you might not, but it makes you force yourself to act quicker than you normally would like to act. So my first target was tapped into, so I really can't complain. I signed up for how the things are right now. So let's just see. This just comes with the process. I mean, I decided to hold a little bit extra just to see if price had potential to target lower prices on a Monday, just because, I mean, it's smooth price action. So that's why. But also on Mondays it likes to go both ways, and I know that. And so it's just like, what do I trust here? Do I trust my experience, or do I trust the fact that the price action still looks clean? I mean, it's like one of those situations. If we can see price close underneath this candle, that would show a sign of strength on the bear side, which is exactly what we would need right now. I don't think this really shows anything. The 2-minute is getting ready to close bearish. That's actually a good thing. Let's see. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close. There you go. So that's what we want to see, but we want to see at least one more. We want to see that momentum continue. This candle, we want to see this continue to wick out. And yeah. In 2 more minutes, it's going to be a new 30-minute candle. So I feel like whatever happens within the next 2 minutes is going to be important. Going to be very important. All right, 5 seconds. Let's see. Let's see what that volume want to do. So far, I'll see. As soon as I was getting ready to say something, let me just keep quiet and stay watching. Okay, so now I can talk now. So since we got the candle closure that actually confirmed the directional momentum, it's looking like we're going to continue lower and target this. So I can actually adjust my low to this here, because you always want to have the most accurate low. You don't want to have a low that was already collected, right? Because then you're targeting already collected liquidity. It doesn't make sense. So far our directional movement in the market, our directional momentum has been confirmed here. So what you would have had here is, like, the way I look at all of this, one leg of distribution, right? And just to even further confirm this, right, if you was to draw a fib, have it from your lowest point to your highest point, you got a 38.2. So that's already valid, right? So since that's already valid and price came up here, it collected all of the internal liquidity as well. So you got to look. There's no more internal liquidity within this range. Like you previously, as price was going up, you had this high, this high, this high, this high, and then you got this big bearish candle. So this big bearish candle shows that this could potentially be a blockout, right? So which means that once price collects all of this liquidity, you can actually see price begin to reject it once again and continue that bearish momentum. It starts targeting these lows again, like it did from here. But so from here, it'll be pretty interesting, because we now want to see it target these lows here. But once again, price is being interesting today, man. It really is. It's acting very peculiar. But so far, this still looks good overall. I mean, it depends, because see, the thing here about this area is, if this area continues to move here slowly, it could be a potential higher low formed, right? Or once again, since we already got that close, it can continue lower. So there's always two sides to everything. It's always like that polarization, I feel like, when it comes to the market and when it comes to CRT as well. So let's just see. So very quickly, the actual reasoning that this line is here is because this was a higher time frame potential CRT. It was this bearish 30-minute CRT. So I'm deciding whether or not I should take this off. I feel like if price comes back underneath and closes underneath, I'll take it off. But for now, it does allow you to see a good contrast of both sides, sort of. You can see potentially how, if this area makes a higher low, it could potentially target higher. But then you can also see how, if price closes underneath, it will continue lower. And then, like I said, though, if this area continues to directionally target these lows, it could continue to target this here, which would be these lows, this low, this low, Like it will start targeting lows. So but the thing is, you don't know which low will be the low of the reversal. So that's where it always comes down to, how you personally manage the trade. But so far, I've been managing this trade very well. I stuck through the uncomfortable parts of it, and I backed it with understanding. So let's continue. So far, so good. We're back underneath. So now we're actually lower than I believe my first target was. Or I forgot what my first target was already. I think it was somewhere above here or around here. But it's all right. I'm not going to be stuck in the past. I'm going to pay more attention to what things are doing now. So far, so good. At this point, you just stay patient. You let the market play out. You let it do its thing. So what this trade actually looks like right now is something like this, because I'm not at risk anymore in this trade. So really, the trade looks like this. I just think this kind of looks ugly. So I just feel like it should just stay full. But the 15-minute candle has 8 minutes left on it, but it looks very good. This kind of has 23 minutes, but it looks very good. 5-minute has 3 minutes left. 4-minute just closed. So this just opened, and so it closed bearish, which is good. It's always a sign of good strength. Let me see. 3-minute. I'm just going through everything just because it helps you get the full picture of things. It helps you capture the full flow of the market as well, the full flow of price action. So like you can really be more in the zone as a trader. But it also depends on how you are as a trader as well. Like I really understand that the market is fractal, so I view each and every point as what price is doing right now. Like there's some people who can only go to the 5-minute time frame and they stuck seeing things here. And then, but I can go lower, switch it up, go here, and still capture the same picture of what I'm trying to look for. And so, for right now, we're at another pivotal point. I feel like how price does here. So now I gotta ask myself: do I want to wait through another potential drawdown or take what we have here? Because now we're at our TP. I believe my TP1 was somewhere here. I think it was at 204. So we're technically not there actually yet, because I think it was based off of this. But we're there you have it. Now we're there. So let's see. We might have strong direction now. So just for extra safety confirmation with this trade, I'm going to actually scale it from this point, from here. I'm going to just change this to red because I'm going to use that as my scale. Let's see. Boom. But I want to see something though. I really want to just see. I don't know why I'm trying to get the most out of the market right now. I feel like I'm really testing my knowledge and testing how well I understand the market for some reason today. And I don't know why it's happening on a Monday either. But I'm here. So testing myself, flowing, allowing myself to call the market. I feel like I gotta give myself more room to do this now that I have a complete framework of CRT that I work with now. And so this is just me calling the market. So now what I'm trying to look for is see if price can tap into these lows here, which is when price taps here, I really want to see how it reacts, right? Because this is a higher price buildup. So which means that if price taps back into this level, it could potentially continue back higher, because last time price was here, it rejected forward. So let's see. Oh, there we go. We're going. Hey, all right. That's another take profit hit, area hit. I feel like this is our third take profit because we had our first one here. Then we had here. We had our first take profit here. Second take profit was here. Third take profit here. We had a fourth take profit here. Fifth take profit here. And our sixth take profit is potentially able to be hit. I feel like I don't want to force and not take what the market has given me though. But I mean, if the market is flowing, then I'm flowing too, you know. Let me actually confirm my stop. Let me actually set that. I didn't actually set it. 0.79711. 79711. So that pretty much locks me in at a 1 to 4. That's pretty good. I mean, I would take that at the end of the day. So I'm cool with being locked in there. Now we just continue to see. This is our next TP area. I feel like this area was based on our negative 61% or our negative 27%. Oh wait, what am I doing? Okay, one second. I believe I had it here. Okay, so this is actually our maximum 61%. And are we in another CRT? Let me check. I don't think we're active or within another higher time frame CRT. We're just strictly riding momentum here. Oh well, we are within this 3 hour, but I feel like this could take all day. You could literally probably end up holding this through Asian session and through London session. I would love to milk out this 50% here from this, but I don't really feel like I want to be honest. I'm at a 2.3 risk to reward right now. I know I'm scaling the trade, but I'm also being honest with how I actually feel about how I want to go about the trade in real time. I feel like this just sets me up for, I just confirmed profits for the day, but when you press that exit button, is depending on you, whether or not you actually gain the willpower in finalizing that decision as a trader. So I feel like that's also important as a saying, because trading is about making decisions, and exiting the market is one of the most important decisions along with entering the market, because when you exit the market, that's what actually gives you the money. That's what actually puts the money in your pocket. So just don't lose sight of that, right? Because you can have good entries, but if I hold this trade too long, there you go. I could get stopped out. Even though I'm gonna get stopped out on profit, if I was already going to get stopped out, it would have made more sense for me to just exit now and take more profits. But for right now, the market still has potential, but it has slight potential because we came into this area. So like I said, this area actually drags on. This area is actually a pretty strong, not strong, but it contains a good strength of liquidity within it. So because of that, it's just something that you just want to look for or look out for, because it could potentially cause a shift within the market, even if it's a small one. I'm gonna be honest, it's 10:44 and it's a Monday once again, so I don't want to force it. So I would love to see price from the 1 minute perspective right now and just continue. Let me clear this up now. So now I'm not going off of no fib projection anymore, because my fib projection was already captured. I'm just going off of straight directional volume and price action. The 1 minute actually doesn't look bad, if I'm honest. It really doesn't look bad. Can we get our next TP? Can we hit this 1 to 3? Can we hit it? 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 Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I feel like we can hit it. All right. Our directional liquidity fulfillment is already in play. See, once you understand the direction, it opens you up to so many possibilities. Because I understand that the market is targeting lows now. So I'm dragging it from low to low, and I'm monitoring how price action is actually unfolding. So this, I don't know if I even want to make this my maximum take profit, because price is literally dumping right now. Look at this. Okay, and so now let me actually set this up and reanalyze. Okay, so we actually hit our 50%. Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna go ahead and exit. I'm gonna call that a trade. So that's the thing. I didn't just want to exit the trade for no reason. I wanted to actually find a good area that we're in within the market to actually give me a good reason to actually exit. So what I actually used was, once I understood that price came into this 50% that was within this candle range, right? So this candle range was the overall higher time frame basis. So this was really my overall time frame that I was on, right? That I was trying to base everything, right? So what I mean is, this range holds the key to everything. So this would be a CRT high from the 3-hour candle, right? Then you have your 50% here. Okay. Now, as you can see, prior to this, it was already a Monday. I didn't really want to hold. I was pretty skeptical. And I remember at a certain time, I actually did say to myself, and I said it on camera, that I said that once price comes to this 50%, I would love to exit once price comes around here. And so once price actually went, soon as I seen price was at this 50% level, I exited the market, because at that point, I knew that, okay, this is the final target area that I have, and I don't want to wait on anything else, because I understand that if I want to wait on this, I could be in this trade all day until London session, probably London. Yeah, I would give this trade until London session, so it can still play out. I mean, if you want to hold this out, right, and then you probably set your stop and profit just like I had it, and then you can hold this out, and it could be a 1-6 trade, but it's a Monday. I'm okay with a 1-3, because I got out somewhere within this window. So I got out at a 1-3, and listen, I am very happy taking a 1-3 on a Monday. That's because that rarely happens, right? So to just see that I read price action this smoothly on Monday, yes, price does have potential to continue lower, continue bearish, because it's still in a distribution, right? So I do understand that, but I'm also happy with where the market was at and where I actually were within this range. So I look to have my maximum exit here for the day, which is actually pretty good, because this entry area wasn't actually the best entry area. Like I said, I could have got a slightly better entry area that would have led me somewhere here, and I would have been able to, let me see what that would have been. Instead of a 3.35, it would have been a 3.91, so it would have been almost a 4. So I mean, it's not a huge difference, but that's just how, you factor in. Let me go back to where I was at. That's pretty much just how you factor in your timing of the market. So I mean, when you look at this overall from the 1-hour perspective, I'm gonna be honest, the market is looking very bullish. I mean, not bullish, bearish. I feel like all of this is trend line liquidity, and that's just off the first instinct, because you have here, you see that price tried to tap into this area, and now it failed and closed behind it. And then, as you can see in our we had the beginning of our phases: accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So price could very well be in a distribution overall, even if it takes days, right? Even if the market sort of comes down. Let me try this out. I don't know why I'm going so extra now, but let's just see. All right, comes here, it could, even if it comes back here, retest or something, the overall thing is, from this point, you're expecting price to go and tap into this low. At least for right now, that's what the potential is. That's what price action is currently doing. And as far as trades go, you know, you just got to know how you are as a trader. Like, I knew that I didn't want to wait anymore. I'm fine. Let me exit at this apex, right? Because I exited somewhere within this price window. So since I exited within this price window, I exited, as you can see, at an apex point of price, which was at a maximum low. So, which was a good exit point if you consider that I held through these. I held through the uncomfortability of these, and then I was able to take my maximum somewhere within here. So that's actually amazing. I'm grateful for it. It was a great execution for today. We was able to make profits. And yeah, see, if I was actually here scaling this, you still got potential to target this, but you know, it'll just be there. But since I'm not in this trade anymore, this is pretty much more so what I have. This is the analysis. Let me remove this. Let me see what else. You can just see the flow. Like, you can see the accumulation, right? You can see the peak manipulation, because once you look here, there's nothing left. There's nothing left until you go all the way back until this far. And even when you go all the way this far, you have what? You have a period of distribution. So even just when you understand that, the market is likely to go back and distribute prior to that area. So the highest point that you could have dragged over would have been something within here. And then let me just actually draw it out, right? I got the time. So let me just draw this out. I would say you have your first starting point here at this open, but you do have your first area here. Then your maximum point will be within this two windows. You know, I like to do pools of liquidity, so I'll have starting from here. Let me just drag this over just very quickly. Boom. So you have price underneath this area, and then your maximum area, which would actually be my green. I would actually have this black for this case, so because it's just representation of liquidity and price action. So let me just go ahead and make this black. I don't think price might not have actually tapped into it, but you can still, since it still came close and then tapped into the other area of liquidity, that was enough for it to begin bearish overall, right? So price action is all about liquidity, and liquidity is all about the market. If the market does not move without it, that's exactly why you have, you know, I'm not going to go into a whole lecture on liquidity and why it's necessary to move the market. So the trade went very well. It could continue bearish. I'm going to just exit here, leave my projection. Let me see what time frame actually looks the cleanest from this trade. Something like this. It's a great trade today, man. I'm proud of myself. I'm very proud of myself today with this execution. And so I'm going to leave it like this. Boom. Have my CRT. Don't like that this is green. Actually, since it didn't get hit, it's no point of it being there. Since these areas are just future areas of liquidity, it's not really necessary to have on my chart anymore. I'm just clearing up my chart in real time just so I know that I'm good, you know. So since I was only targeting the 30-minute, 3-hour, I'll have that on the screen. And you have this. Let me bring this high into frame, because this high set the tone for the entire move of the day, of the session. You had your accumulation, manipulation, and then phase 3, the beginning of your distribution, which was you know, I said I had a late entry, but honestly, it was still perfect. I just feel like that's the perfectionist in me. I just always like to look for the best case scenario. go against the initial projection that I have within the market. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. For this live trade. And you know what, I wasn't probably going to post this on YouTube, but I feel like the trade played out completely perfectly on a Monday, so I'm going to just upload this to YouTube as well. I might actually upload some other videos that I gotta build up, but that's going to be it for this video. Listen, if this video helps you understand price action, help you understand CRT, how the market actually moves, and listen, especially if you stayed to the ending of this video, right, leave a diamond emoji in the comments. Right, I just want to see if anyone really stayed to the very end of this video and captured the wisdom, the knowledge, and obviously the proof of price action that was embedded within it. So once again, if you like this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, share the video, and once again, make sure to leave that comment a diamond if you made it this far into the video, right? And so this was a live trade today, July 7th, and I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.